Nate the Hate was wrong. And we're currently seeing this weird, YouTuber push this idea that, actually, Nate the Hate was completely right. And we can totally expect an Ocarina of Time remake by the end of the year. This is a gigantic cope from, everybody in the sphere. Nothing in Nate the Hate said was true. Right? He said the Star Fox game would be revealed in April. It was not. He said it would be through Nintendo Today. It was not. And most importantly, he said it would be a new game, not a remake. Okay? This is the important point. Is that we were told that the Ocarina of Time remake would be a Final Fantasy VII style reimagining, where it would be it would be split into 3 different games, and it would be a complete overhaul of the experience, and it would be this awful idea that never should have gotten off the ground, right? We were told that's what was supposed to happen with Ocarina of Time. But in actuality, it was Star Fox that was more like that. With the overly realistic designs and the rehashed plot elements and just taking itself way too seriously. This is something that coincidentally did not come up at all during Nate the Hate's coverage of it. And I was kind of wondering why. What could have possibly led to this situation? And I think it comes down to what's actually happening when it comes to these leakers. Because they're not actually getting their sources directly from Nintendo, because that would lead to any employee getting blacklisted or severe consequences, severe legal consequences. They sign NDAs, okay? They're not supposed to talk about this stuff. But, what's actually happening, and I think this is very apparent, is that, advertising materials are being produced to, promote these announcements before they go live, and Nate the Hate is able to see this, these things being produced somehow. Okay, so he's probably going straight to manufacturers of the merchandise and going behind the scenes of he's able to figure out that things are happening based on release schedules and things that people not directly associated with the company are saying. So, for example, the reason we all knew that a new Star Fox game was coming was because of the movie and Star Fox being in it. Obviously, we were going to get a new game after that. And so Nate the Hate released a statement saying that, oh yeah, we're going to get a new Star Fox, and it's coming out in June. And the reason he was able to surmise that was because we, weirdly enough, did not have a major first-party Nintendo game releasing in June. So, again, he was able to, talk about this, but he was not able to talk about Splatoon Raiders, which, by the way, was a game that was talked about during a Nintendo Today. Okay, so, again, basically what you're seeing with Nate the Hate is that you're not seeing, a leak. You're not seeing someone who with inside sources at Nintendo leaking their entire release schedule in advance. You're seeing somebody who is making calculated, educated guesses based on what the company is doing. Okay, so he was able to predict that a Star Fox was coming because of the movie, and he was able to predict the release date because of the hole in the schedule. But he was not able to discern the announcement date. He was not able to discern the method. He was not able to talk about things that would have been very, very apparent to anybody actually internally at the company. And this is very, very important. That if this guy is just guessing, if it's just making calculated guesses, that's quite a bit different than an industry leaker. This guy is just grifting off of people's desire to know more about what Nintendo is doing. And YouTubers are desperate to kind of validate this and try and present this as if this is in any way accurate, reliable, or worth listening to. Because Nate the Hate has made plenty of predictions over the years that are completely wrong. The idea that people have that this guy is completely 100% reliable and that we should listen to him because Nintendo Land, RGT85, and all these other grifters are say we should No, absolutely not. Like, Nate the Hate was wrong about Star Fox. You know, like, all he said was going to happen is that we were going to get a new Star Fox in June. And that was something that, like, anybody could have figured out. Like, Nate the Hate is a complete poser. And we really do need to, like, keep the pressure on him in regard to this situation. Is that Nate the Hate was completely wrong. And I'm very curious to see, like, at what stage people are going to, like, start, like, catching on to this. Because if we don't get the Ocarina of Time remake this year, that'll shoot his credibility. You know, if we do get it this year, that was simply a safe prediction that was brought about because of the upcoming movie. Right? Like, Nate the Hate is, like, I think the easy way you can tell that it's so fake is that you're not seeing any, like, unexpected surprises. You're not seeing, like, details regarding, like, new IPs. You're not seeing, like, you know, anything past, like, June. Okay? You're not seeing anybody talk about, like, you know, anything Nintendo has planned for, like, the long term. Like, again, it's like, it's just a giant, like, massive cope from Nate the Hate fanboys. This guy actually knows what he's talking about. And that Nintendo, like, wouldn't shut it down if he was right. Like, if Nate the Hate was getting inside leaks at Nintendo, Nintendo would put a gag order on him. They would put a stop to it. They would fire everyone involved. Like, Nate the Hate would not be allowed to keep doing what he was doing if his information was in any way accurate. The problem is that it isn't accurate. It is never accurate. And as a result of that, he has to just kind of sit there and cope. Like, well, plans change, you know, Nintendo cancels projects, and then just kind of move on to the next grift. And it's something that we absolutely should be dead set against, okay? It is something that we should be actively fighting back against. It's something that we should be speaking out against. Like, it is a complete and total joke how Nate the Hate has this ill-deserved reputation of being this, like, amazing leaker, when in actuality he is and always has been a complete joke and a has-been, and someone who deserves no respect at all whatsoever. And it is high time that we as a community reject him, reject his enablers, reject, like, the leak community in general, and just kind of, like, you know, play video games and talk about those until Nintendo makes major announcements. Like, I don't want to hear people talking about Nate the Hate or leaks in general ever again.